This is getting better and better.
Get some recipes.
Look at that.
Yes, sir.
You haven't peaked yet.
I just can't wait.
That's a lesson that games are not played on paper.
No.
But they're played on the field.
I told you guys. I told you.
I told you.
Welcome to Evolve, a lifestyle brand that disrupts conventional thinking and challenges you to evolve your soul, evolve your body, evolve your mind, and evolve your tribe. And now, it's time to disrupt.
You have value and you are not alone.
When I close my eyes, I can see a whole different world. Wow, That's what I want to do, man.
Welcome to Evolve Your Body, part of the Evolve Your series of shorts that gives you real-world stories and ideas that disrupt your current thinking and spark evolution. Today, I'm fortunate to be joined by my good friend, owner of Boundless Body and the host of Boundless Body Radio, Casey Ruff. Casey, welcome to Evolve Your Body.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining me today. So we've had you on the podcast before, and I thought it would be great to have you back on because I think one of my favorite things that we tell each other is you shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Exactly right.
But you did an episode. I can't remember who was the name of the author of Breathe.
James Nestor.
Okay, and I loved that episode. For our listeners here that have not listened to the episode, go to Boundless Body Radio, and wow, what a fascinating episode. One of the things that I learned from it is that you are literally trying to shut your mouth when you're talking to me, right?
That's right.
Or at least when you go to bed at night. So James talked about this idea of mouth taping, or that was part of the conversation that you guys had. And I remember when you and I connected afterwards, I was like, dude, tell me about this whole mouth taping thing. So tell our listeners a little bit about mouth taping.
Yeah, sure. So James Nestor is a journalist and became really interested in the concept of breathing, which is something I think most of us really kind of take for granted. It just kind of happens. We don't really pay much attention to it. And we
never think about it.
That's right. Yeah. And you said something really interesting yourself, like the mouth is for talking. That's true. It's not necessarily for breathing, where most people are breathing through their mouths. That's why we have our nasal cavity. And that's the reason that's where we should be properly breathing, essentially. And so mouth taping is really just a really interesting practice of just putting a small strip of tape just right over, part of your mouth to keep it closed at night. Most of us have a tendency to open our mouths when we breathe. So many people have sleep apnea, they're snoring, they wake up, they're drooling, or their mouth is dry. Mouth taping can help solve all of those things and help you kind of train yourself to breathe in and out through your nose the right way, the way that we're supposed to be breathing.
So let's talk about the benefits of breathing through the nose versus breathing through the mouth. Why were we evolutionarily designed to breathe through the nose? Yeah,
so that's a great question. The nasal cavity is so much better at kind of filtering different particles out of the air. So you talk about wearing a mask out in public, we've been told to do for the last year and a half. That's your own natural mask. Basically, you've got nasal hairs. There's so much more turbulence in the nasal cavity that can help stop different bacteria and viruses from entering the body. It's how we add basically almost like a humidity. We get more moisture and warmth through the nasal cavity than we do from breathing from the mouth. It's the way that we're supposed to be breathing. There's all kinds of different reactions with carbon dioxide and nitric oxide that we get from nose breathing versus mouth breathing. It's also a really ancient practice. A lot of people practice it. People in Greece and Rome would put water in their mouth when they would run great distances to help train themselves to breathe in and out through the mouth. It's been shown to help with allergies and ADHD and all kinds of really interesting associations.
Yeah, it's amazing. The mucosal layer on the mucus that is captures some of these particles in the nose actually help to prevent some of these viruses and bacteria from getting into the system.
Yeah, that's right. It's
pretty fascinating.
It is. It's our own innate protective system for some of those things.
Yeah. So talk about mouth taping a little bit more. When I heard this, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. People are actually taping their mouths shut when they go to bed. Now, we've seen people wear the Darth Vader mask because they've got sleep apnea. And so they've got to put this on and look at their partner and say, Luke, I am your father, and then go to sleep. This is a much different thing than that. But talk about like, what is it? How do people do this?
Yeah, it is a little bit weird when you first get started, and it might be uncomfortable for sure. The best tape that I've used is a 3M micropore tape. I mean, you can get 12 rolls of this on Amazon for like $8. It's very inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's a paper tape. It doesn't leave, it leaves a little bit of residue on the mouth in the morning, which is pretty easy to wash off. But basically what you do is like take off a strip, maybe about an inch long. I'll always stick it on the back of my hand about an hour before I go to bed, just to kind of get some of the real stickiness off of it. And then you just
get
put
the
it
adhesive down, right?
Yeah, that's right. And then you just put it right across your mouth, and it just trains your mouth to be closed during the night. And again, it might be a little bit uncomfortable when you're first getting started, but over time you will learn how to breathe properly through your mouth. You'll take in the proper amount of air. You'll breathe at the proper cadence, which according to James Nestor is about 5.5 seconds in, 5.5 seconds out for an in-breath and an out-breath, which means you're taking in about 5.5 liters every single minute, and you're breathing about 5.5 times every single minute, which is kind of funny.
Wow.
But that's about the right cadence that we want. And basically, it can help you with your sleep. It can help you with your dentition. Your teeth should feel way better, way cleaner. You should wake up with a moist mouth rather than a dry mouth. I've heard really interesting anecdotes of people having like different dreams, like being able to dream more peacefully, having, better dreams versus like nightmares, all kinds of crazy benefits. Yeah. And I've noticed with performance as well, as I've been trying to, do my mouth taping, I've been trying to breathe consciously through my nose while I'm doing things like walking, or even like intervals. Like Patrick McEwen talks about this in the Oxygen Advantage. If you're holding your breath while doing, maybe you're walking, maybe you're running, maybe you're doing cycling, you're just trying to hold your breath a little bit more. I've noticed that I can nose breathe at a much higher heart rate than I ever expected. I don't normally use a heart rate monitor anymore. And a few weeks ago, I just wanted to try to see like where my heart rate was while I was like writing. And I noticed that I was able to nose breathe pretty comfortably with my heart rate very high, like 170, 175, which is not something that I was expecting, but it's kind of an interesting benefit. I'm able to take in a much more quality breath in through my nose than I would be through my mouth. And especially in a sport like I participated in cycling, you can really, really crush somebody else's soul by pretending like you're not suffering at the same heart rate as somebody else when you're suffering exactly the same amount that they are. You just have to.
That's a great point.
Yeah, nose breathing is a great way to do that.
That is a great point, because as you get closer to your anaerobic threshold when you're out, whether it's cycling, running, or whatever, your jaw tends to drop open and you to be breathing a lot more from the mouth. You see a lot more of those physical signs. That's a great intimidation tool. So talk about some of the benefits that you've seen, aside from intimidating other cyclists. What are some of the benefits that you've seen from mouth taping as you've done it? How long have you been doing it? I guess a month, 2 months?
It's something that's been in my field of consciousness for the last, few years. I heard about it a few years ago. I tried it a few years ago. It was never something that was really consistent in my practice. I know for sure that I was snoring a lot more than I wanted to admit, according to Bethany. And so it's really been the last like 3 or 4 months that we had that interview with James Nestor, that I've been a little bit more diligent with my practice. And I just noticed, some of the things we've already talked about, I feel like the quality of the breath that comes in is much better. I feel like I don't need to breathe as frequently. My breath seems to be a little bit more shallow. I feel like I can take a deep breath, but I don't need to do my normal day-to-day activities. I just feel in general like more relaxed. It really seems to kind of activate the parasympathetic nervous system and put me in a greater state of just relaxation. I can handle stress much better. It's been a really great practice. I think a lot of people should really try it. I mean, it's very cheap, almost free. You can start today. You can start at whatever age you like. It is, again, it's very simple. And I think it can provide a lot of benefits.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, we talk about one of the most important things, if you're training at all, is your recovery. And the cheapest and easiest thing to do is to get better sleep. That's probably one of the worst things that people do when it comes to their overall health is get poor sleep. So I got to tell you, after you and I talked, I went online, I bought the stuff from Amazon, I started doing it. And the first couple of nights, it kind of, I woke up in the middle of the night and it just didn't feel normal, didn't feel natural. And so I tore the tape off. I had kind of a mini panic moment where I'm like, what in the world's going on? I've got something on my mouth. And I tore it off.
Wow.
By the third or fourth night, I slept all the way through the night. I woke up, and normally at 2 or 3 in the morning, I'm waking up and I'm reaching over for this glass of water. I keep one of these big Yeti cups by my table, or by my bed on my table at night, and I would drink at least half of that every night about 2 or 3 in the morning, which means that then I have to go pee at some point during the night,
Sure.
or I've got to wake up in the morning and go run to the bathroom. By the third or fourth night, I felt a million times different. Number one, my jaw was not tight because it allowed my mouth to stay shut, but yet my jaw and my tongue relaxed.
Wow.
And so I wasn't waking up with this tightness. I used to grit my teeth when I would sleep at night, and I don't have that anymore. But I also wake up and I'm not dehydrated. You know, we lose, people don't realize how much fluid we lose through our mouth and through mouth breathing. We swallow air when when the mouth is open, and so then it causes gastric distress as well. I've had no gastric distress. I'm not dehydrated. My jaw has relaxed, and I feel like I'm getting the recovery that I haven't before. So it's the funniest thing. So then I got to tell you, about 5-6 days in, my wife looks at me and she just starts laughing, and she's like, "That's the dumbest looking thing. I can't believe, like, this looks so stupid." And I said, "Yeah, you want to try it?" She's like, "Yeah, what the hell?" So she tries it, same thing. Now we're hooked. More often than not, we're putting the tape on at night and pretending like we're kissing each other with this goofy tape, and then we roll over and go to sleep, and we have a great night's sleep. It's unbelievable. It is the dumbest thing that I've done in the past 3 months that has been extremely effective.
That's great. Wow, that's so cool to hear about.
Yeah. So I appreciate you doing the episode and teaching me how to tape my mouth shut so that I can keep my mouth shut while I'm talking to you.
Honestly, I was hoping that you were going to take a big drink of that Yeti mug while your mouth was taped and spill like 30 ounces of cold water in your bed. I was really hoping the story was going to take that turn.
I think I'll do that and then take a picture. We'll put it up with this episode.
Great, please do.
This is a reenactment of what happened to Steve in the middle of the night with the Yeti.
That's great.
So it's a really simple process. People can go on Amazon. They can buy this. What is it? The 3M tape?
Yeah. So there's a lot of different brands and varieties, and really, like, just choose whatever works for you. The 3M let's see, let me just make sure I get this right. The 3M micropore tape is a paper tape. Yeah. Again, it comes in like, I don't know, 12 rolls. It's not very expensive. It's a paper tape. It doesn't leave a lot of residue. That's worked really well for me. I know there's other brands and other things you can try. So just whatever works for you. But yeah, just training the mouth to stay shut. And for some people, they can, do this for a few months, a few weeks, and get off of it. And for other people, they may choose to do it for the rest of their life. But it certainly has proven to be very beneficial.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on and teaching our listeners a little bit about how to shut their mouths while they're talking to us, get better sleep, and overall just improve their health. Well, Casey Ruff, how do people contact you if they want to learn more about all the great stuff that you're doing?
Yeah, sure. So they can just go to our website, which is myboundlessbody.com. We recently added a feature where you can book a free 30-minute consultation. You can send us a message, whatever you like. We're just happy to help. And that's the best place to contact us.
Awesome. And listen to the Boundless Body Radio podcast. Casey drops, 3 episodes every week at least. And
we do.
amazing guests from all walks of life. Some of the smartest people. I mean, there was one episode I listened to recently that I text you afterwards. And like, I had no idea what they were talking about. I got to listen to it again. They were so smart, way above my head. But yet the majority of the guests that you have on are very smart people that are able to break down these concepts into very simple, understandable takeaways for them. So go listen to Boundless Body Radio podcast. It's a phenomenal podcast. And on that note, folks, it's time to wrap up another episode of Evolve Your Body. We want to thank Casey Ruff for joining us today. And thank you very much, our listeners, for disrupting your day to spark new evolution in your body. You're fantastic. And now it's time for you to get out there and evolve.